going down, you awesome camera geeks, freaks, noids, and freakazoids? What is a camera noid? A camera noid is a camera nerd, the Brooklyn way, alright? Today, have I got a special camera for you guys. Now, it's always special, isn't it? But would you guys want anything less than the best? Alright, well today we're going back to film, and it's been a long time since I've done a film camera. Now, if you guys go back to the very beginning of this channel, it was almost all film centric, but recently it's been gone almost completely digital. And you know, that's not for a lack of film stuff, it's more because of the old adage. And the old adage always says, give the people what they want. And apparently most of the folks watching this channel would love to see the vintage digital cameras. Alright, so I'm more than happy to give that to you guys because I love digital as well. But since I grew up on film, and I'll always have a place in my heart for film, we're going to do this episode today because we got to return to film. And have I got a great camera for you guys. This camera is, in my opinion, the crowning jewel from a camera manufacturer that is no longer with us, but lives on in our hearts and in our minds and in other ways that we're going to find out in this video. This camera is none other than the Minolta TC-1. Alright, you guys. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Minolta TC-1. It is considered a luxury point and shoot from the glory days of the luxury point and shoots in the 1990s. And let me just show you guys a little bit of the Minolta TC-1. Let's take a look at the controls here. This is a very important thing, and I'll go over that in a few seconds. But let's take a look at this camera. Now, it is really a beautiful camera, but this particular example, you can see what is pretty typical of the TC-1, which is that it scratches up fairly easily. And this little thing right here, you know, I was going to call it a leatherette, but I'm not sure if it's leather, but it's beginning to peel off. But this is just purely cosmetic, all right, the camera skin here. All right, but the star of the show on this camera, no doubt, the star of the show on this beautiful little camera is right here. Right there, you guys. Oh yeah, you see the little ring light in there. Anyway, check out the design here. This is pretty much an aperture priority camera, and you can see the aperture values right there. f3.5 to f16, and the lens is 28 millimeters. It is a Minolta G Rockor, and if you see that right there, the G, this is where you can see the spirit of Minolta and how it lives on with Sony with their G Master lenses. Okay, now the design is this way. It has these little notches where you control the aperture, you know, right here like this. So it's a pretty brilliant and unique design, but when you're actually using it, it kind of feels a little odd, you know, especially because when you have your hand here this way, and you know, and you have your eye to the viewfinder, sometimes it doesn't, seems like it doesn't always, you see what I mean there? Sometimes it feels a little fidgety. So as great as it looks in use, actually it's a little odd sometimes, like, you know, as you can see right there. But there's nothing really wrong with it, just that you know, it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't turn quite as smooth as a real aperture ring. Okay, but anyway, all your controls are here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I want to show you guys a few things. And this control panel is quite brilliant. And so, okay, let's just, for example, if you want to use flash right here, so you put it on the flash mode right there, and then you would use this right here to control whatever you want to do with the flash. So right now I have no flash, okay? And show you this. This came in handy for me quite a few times. You have exposure compensation right here, and sometimes when I'm in a, let's say in a, you know, in a gym or watching a show stage, the great thing, you could do this right here. You could turn on that light right there. That's beautiful. especially if I don't want to use flash. So you can plus or minus all the way to, wow, you can plus or minus up to like 4 steps, which is fantastic. All right, so that is a great so that's another one of the great things about the TC-1. And then let's say you set everything up. Let's say everything is all set up right here. You know, you don't have to, but you can leave it in the hold, meaning that now all your settings are in place right here. So just one of the beautiful things about the Minolta TC-1. Now, what is not so great about the TC-1, the viewfinder is very, very tiny. I don't know if I could put it in there, but anyway, yeah, it's not gonna work. You have a little spot metering right there. Yeah, and overall the design is quite amazing how they packed all this into this tiny little thing. You know, that a tiny little thing that really fits right into your pocket. So this is a beautiful camera, and the body, despite being scratch prone, is actually quite durable. Okay, the electronics inside, it might be a different matter, but the body itself is quite durable. All right, so now let's take a look at some photos from the legendary Minolta TC-1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the camera legend that is the Minolta TC-1. And the first great thing about it is that it is so small that you tend to carry it everywhere, just like right here at IKEA, where the small size is definitely a plus. Now, the next thing you should know is that the lens on this camera is beautifully sharp and very little distortion, and depending on the film, it's just got a really nice, cool vibe to it, and you could do a lot with these images. Now, the next thing that is noteworthy about the Minolta TC-1, in addition to the very sharp lens, is, can you spot it here? I want you guys to take a moment and write it down in the comments. Okay, well, if you cannot spot it, don't feel bad, because I feel that this is a little understated in the Minolta TC-1 reviews, but this camera has an excellent exposure system. And just as an example, take a look at this photo right here. This is the way it came out as is. I didn't have to lift the shadows or anything like that. Here's another example, really tricky lighting, and I think the camera did the best that it could and produced a very nice picture. Now, Minolta back in the day were known for their great auto exposure system, and so this is a great benefit on the Minolta TC-1. Now, bokeh on a 28mm f3.5 lens is not something that you should expect a lot of, but you can get some, which is quite nice and neutral, but you should be realistic in your expectations, because a 28mm f3.5 lens is simply not a bokeh lens. Now, where this lens excels is in documentary photography, street photography, vacation photography. It is an excellent tool for documenting life. So in my personal and honest opinion, okay, and it hurts me to say this, but for the vast majority of you guys, I say, what should I say? Is the Minolta TC-1 worth it in 2024? I will say, no. No. Oh man, that hurt to say. And the reason why I'm saying that, well, there's a few reasons, okay? Number one, the prices are really in the collector's realm. All right, so if you're a camera collector and you would like to get that, I'm all for it. You have the money, I'm all for it. Number two, this camera is approaching 30 years old, you know, and it's not the most robust camera to begin with. Now, sometimes when I say these things, a lot of people think that we're just talking supposition, like supposing it could happen. Well, I want to show you guys proof. Alright, so a lot of times when I'm talking about the lack of repairability on these cameras or similar cameras like, you know, Contax T2, 35 Ti Nikon, And when I talk about the potential for failure, it all sounds like supposition, right? Like it could happen. Well, but because this is not just any regular Joe Schmo channel, this is the Camera Legend channel where you guys have put me to the task and you've come to expect more out of me. I'm going to show you the proof that it can happen right here. Alright, so here's the proof that it can happen. This is my first Minolta TC-1, and I bought this around 2012, and it lasted about 6 months before the lens jammed. Okay, and you know, I believe that there might be some people that might be able to fix this, but yeah, I couldn't find anybody that would fix it at that time, so it was cheaper for me to get this one, right? This one cost me about $400 in 2013 or 2014, but I could tell you that if this were to fail today, I would, you know, say a prayer, thank it for its services, thank the TC-1 for its services, and I would not buy another one for over $1,000. That's what I would do differently today, okay? But back then, 300 to 400 seemed quite reasonable. So here's the proof that it can fail, and I'm still hanging on to this because I believe that somebody out there could repair this, but you're probably not at a price that I'm willing to pay right now. But should they be able to do it for a great price, or if you're watching this even, please let me know in the comments. Contact me. I'd love to get this one repaired. Alright? Alright, so that is the proof that not only can it happen, it did happen to me. Alright, and I'm not picking on the Minolta TC-1. I just want to say that for all the legendary point and shoots from that golden era, Contax T2, Konica Hexar, Leica Mini Lux, in my personal opinion, okay, they are fantastic camera legends, but they are very risky. They are very risky. They are a gamble. See, it's getting mad at me. But that is the truth. Alright, now here is one ironic thing as to why I'm saying that I don't think it's worth it for a lot of you guys. Okay, so here it goes. This lens is technically superb, okay? Right? It's sharp, it's fantastic. Color saturation is beautiful. The exposures are excellent. But the ironic thing is because of the focal length, okay? Not the lens itself, not this particular lens, but because of the focal length, which is 28 millimeters and then f3.5 starting aperture. Because of that, the camera doesn't give an awful lot of character, right? You're not going to get a lot of bokeh out of this focal length or any other 28 millimeter f3.5. So that's one of the reasons why I'm saying that, you know, realistically, like I've shown you with that photo from the Canon G1X, you're not going to see a big difference between the images out of this camera and, you know, like something like the Canon G1X, okay? Or if you get another film camera with a 28 millimeter f3.5 and then you stop that lens down a little bit, you're not going to see a whole hell of a lot of difference. They are very risky to buy. They are a gamble, so you have to really be that hardcore camera geek who really wants you know, these cameras. And here's the thing though, which a lot of you guys are forgetting, right? If you are not anti-digital, then the cameras that we have today easily can match or exceed these cameras. Okay, that is just the truth coming from me. You know, as a person who've used both film and digital, that is my honest opinion. Okay, so that is my verdict. You know, as much as I love the Minolta TC-1, as much as it is a true and bona fide camera legend, you know, sometimes you just gotta let the legends rest. It is time for new legends. Okay, so like this one, I'm happy to use it, you know, sparingly here and there, and I think it's gonna be great. Now, you know, if you want to get one and you don't mind the risk, if you are that hardcore camera geek who knows the risk but are willing to take it and are willing to lose out in case something were to happen, then by all means grab that Minolta TC-1 because it is a true camera legend, a unique camera legend that will take fantastic photos. Alright, so I hope this was helpful to you guys, and and if you do find it helpful, please consider subscribing if you haven't already subscribed. Don't forget to comment and like. That helps this channel a lot with the algorithm for these small channels, because YouTube doesn't really like small channels. Alright, but thank you guys so much. I do appreciate each and every one of you, and honestly I have no reason really to do this except that I want to get all this information out to you guys. So thank you guys very much, and until next time, let's take that beautiful 1996 photo of you guys with this luxurious point and shoot camera legend, the Minolta TC-1, at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, and I will catch you guys next time on thecameralegend.com YouTube YouTube channel. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Minolta TC-1. It is considered a luxury point and shoot